and gaining a sizable advantage at the start. There was Poncherello. He's already 8 to 9 lengths clear of the other two, who are headed off by the nose-banded Busy Street, and Poncherello just dived a little bit at that opening fence and wasn't particularly fluent, and has subsequently come back to the second place runner Busy Street, and Poncherello again ballooned fence number 2, and at the back of the field Whitechurch dragged his hind legs through the second fence there, and now they begin to make their turn left-handed in front of the enclosures and begin to run towards fences 3, 4, 5 and 6 in this line. So coming past the enclosures, Poncherello leading by 2 lengths, Poncherello in the hands of Henry Crow, leading Busy Street, and Pippa Brown towards the first in this line. Again, Poncherello wasn't particularly fluent at that fence, and Whitechurch is still at the rear of the 3-runner field as they head off towards the open ditch for the first time. Fence number 4, Poncherello again ballooning it, and they're all over it safely enough and heading on now towards fence number 5. Poncherello being joined and headed there by Busy Street up along the inside. Busy Street's been much more efficient and accurate over the opening few fences, and has now gone on into a 2-length advantage of Poncherello, who was corkscrewing that time, and Whitechurch, again not particularly fluent himself, is finding himself increasingly detached from the leading pair as they head left-handed up into the back straight, and now begin to turn left-handed into the far side, where they'll have fences 7 and 8 to get across. So it was the best turned out winner, Busy Street, that was leading them into the far side in this, the Rocket Group restricted race. Busy Street, this former 99 rated hurdler, heading off into the back straight, jumps the first in the far side fluently, and Busy Street appears to have it looks as though Busy Street's rider has lost some of his equipment, or has lost an iron, because I don't think he's jumped any of the fences in the back straight, Busy Street, and certainly didn't jump the last one in the back straight. I don't think he jumped the first, so Busy Street is out of the race and looks uncontrollable at the moment for Pippa Brown. Hopefully she can get him pulled up sooner rather than later, as the other two now make their way towards the fence that will be taken as 2 out in a circuit's time. Poncherello and Whitechurch, only a couple of lengths between the pair now, and unfortunately Pippa Brown hasn't been able to pull up Busy Street yet, who's still running loose, heading towards the enclosures, and it looks like Pippa's maybe beginning to get some sort of a hold over a Busy Street near the enclosure bend. So Poncherello is beginning to make the journey towards this line of 4 fences. Once again, Poncherello, Henry Crow, who won the 2.5 mile maiden last time, Poncherello and Whitechurch, pair inseparable over that one, running to fence number 12, the final one of the open ditches, Poncherello and Whitechurch. Poncherello just assuming a command once again by 1.5 lengths, going out over the ditch for the final time, heading towards the 13th. Poncherello on by 2 lengths, he's even a little bit more now from Whitechurch, as they head towards the final fence in this line. It'll be taken as 5 out. Poncherello 4 lengths clear of Whitechurch, heading over it. Poncherello jumping much better that time, and Whitechurch still 4 or 5 lengths off this leader, heading off into the back straight with a mile left to cover. So Poncherello, it's about 6 to 5 on the off, so too Whitechurch, and the pair of them are heading off into the back straight with 4 to jump. Poncherello and Whitechurch. Of course, Whitechurch himself ran out at Aston Bryan last time. Didn't jump that particularly well, but he is still in the race and only 3 or 4 lengths off the Henry Crowe, jumping much better that time. Poncherello putting one of his best leaps of the round, has now gone by 4 or 5 lengths. Henry just getting a little bit lower in the saddle, heading towards the point at which they started a couple of circuits ago. Poncherello being pushed along now by Henry Crowe. Whitechurch, his rider, at this stage not sending out as many distress signals as yet, coming on down the hill with 2 fences left to jump and about a furlong and a half to cover. Poncherello at the second last, jumping well. Whitechurch dragged himself through it as he did a couple of circuits ago at that particular fence, and Poncherello now has 6 or 7 lengths in hand. Didn't jump the last very well himself either, but Poncherello has been kept up to his work here by Henry Crowe. He's got 150 yards left to cover, and Poncherello, driven out, is going to go on and land the restricted race. He's tired close home, Poncherello, but he'll go on to win by the best part of 7 or 8. Poncherello beats into second Whitechurch, and they were the only 2 to complete.